Om Namo Narayana, welcome back to the final video of the series on the Yoga Sutra. For all of you who have just discovered this video channel for the first time, welcome. I hope you will stay with me as I continue to read quite an array of things on this channel, as I already have, and I try to spice it up with stuff from different traditions like Shaivism and Vaishnava, and it's pretty much of a random find. It's basically when I can get texts that are complete, because there's a lot of Hindu scriptures out there which have multiple versions, but there's also often incomplete versions. Like, for example, there is the Guru Gita, which I read on this channel already. I did a 108 verse version of it, but there's actually one with some like 200 something verses. And I'd love to read that one, I just haven't found it yet. So, or at some point I want to read the entire Mahabharata, and I actually could not find a version of it until recently. I found, edited and annotated, abridged, super abridged versions, but to get an actual complete one, I couldn't do, and I found one. So it's just a matter of what I can find and what I can do, and please join me on this journey. I have no idea where it's going, but it's been pretty cool so far, and yeah. So anyways, thanks. So here we go, the final bit of the Yoga Sutra, starting with verse 15. In view of the fact of the multiplicity of minds, as opposed to the singleness of a perceived object, both belong to separate levels of existence, and the object is not dependent on a single mind for its existence. If it were, what happens to it when it is not perceived by the mind? An object is known or not known by reason of the required coloration of the mind by it. The mental activities are always known by their superior, the Purusha, due to its unchanging nature. The mind is not self-luminous, since it is an object of perception. Furthermore, the mind and its object cannot be perceived simultaneously. If the mind were perceived by another mind, this would lead to an infinite regress from cognition to cognition and the confusion of memory. When the unchanging awareness assumes the shape of that mind, experience of one's own cognitions becomes possible. The mind, colored by both the seer and the seen, knows all objects. That mind, though variegated with countless vasanas, is other-purposed due to acting collaboratively. For him who sees the distinction between the Purusha and the mind, there comes about the discontinuation of the projection of the self-sense. Then the mind, inclined towards discrimination, is borne onwards towards Kaivala. Any lapses in any discrimination may allow other thoughts to arise from the samskaras. Their cessation can be accomplished in the same manner as was explained for the kleshas. For one who has no interest even in omniscience, there follows through the vision of discernment the samadhi called Dharma cloud. Thence follows the discontinuation of both the kleshas and of karma. Then all the coverings of imperfections are removed, and little remains to be known because of the infinity of the resulting wisdom. Thence comes the termination of the sequences in the transformations of the gunas whose purpose is fulfilled. Sequence refers to correlative to the moment of time, recognizable at the final end of a particular transformation. The involution of the gunas, which are now devoid of purpose for the Purusha, is what is called Kaivalya, or the establishment of the power of awareness in its essential nature. Thus ends the Yoga Sutra. Now, if anyone thought that the Yoga Sutra was going to delve into poses and breathing techniques, no. The foundational text of yoga doesn't even touch on these things. Maybe, I will say, maybe there is an alternative translation out there which is longer or shorter, perhaps. I trust the translator of this particular piece of writing, but I do know for a fact that this translator has released a few writings that are only parts. But I think I have the complete sutra here. And what is it about? Well, that last line I just read basically summarizes the point of this entire text. It is the establishment of the power of awareness in its essential nature. And it defines to us the power of awareness, the parts of that, and how it works. And it defines to us the essential nature. What is that essential nature? That's the point of yoga. That's it. That's what this is all about. That's what all the movements, all the breathing techniques, everything is for. That's it. And that's the most important thing here, is to find that awareness and to find our essential nature, because that brings us to God. That connects us to God. That shows us who we truly are. And if you're wondering why this text didn't talk about movements and stuff, that's because the point of yoga is actually not movements. The movements are simply tools. That's it. For example, I have a cup of coffee right here, okay? And the point of this coffee is what's inside. It's not the mug. The mug is simply a tool. Now, this is a cool mug. Hang on, let me take a sip before I spill it. That would be horrible. I happen to love the band Kiss, and I like Baby Yoda, I will confess. And my girlfriend found this little mug of Ace Frehley Baby Yoda, though she thought it was Gene Simmons, but I can forgive her, she only knows like 3 of their songs. And I love it. It's cute. And it's an awesome mug, and I had it at work for quite a while, and then I brought it home. Here's the thing. Yes, it's an awesome mug. Yes, it's a band that I really like. And I understand it's probably reversed in the camera. But the point is actually this. When there's nothing here, when there's nothing... when that doesn't exist, the mug is really just here on the shelf with a bunch of other mugs. It's clothing in my shelf. It does nothing. I like it. I will look at it when I need it. That's what these positions are, through an overly obvious example, I know. But I just wanted a cup of coffee. I just wanted to sip here for a moment. So that's what all these things are. So now we have to back up a little bit. And I'll end this video really with this. When you do your yoga practice, or when you teach others, or you're talking to your teacher, or you're talking to others who do yoga, is this what they're going for? This final sentence? Are they going for awareness in its essential nature? The answer might be yes. It might also be no. But you have to ask one more question. Is the essential nature they're going for the one here in the sutras, or is it something else? So this is a really kind of big pet peeve for me, because there are people who say, yes, I'm looking for awareness in essential nature, and oh, really, what is that? What is that essential nature? Well, it's rainbows and butterflies and feeling the chakra balance of my DNA structure awakening. It's not Hinduism. That's not Hinduism. That's gibberish. I just randomly threw words together. That's New Age ideas, many of which come out of Madame Blavatsky. Others come out of Aleister Crowley. There's a lot of stuff that's just came out of someone's mind, and it may be good, it might be bad, but it's not Hinduism. So if you're looking for an authentic Hindu yoga experience, or a yoga experience, I should say, based on tradition authenticity, the Indian tradition, etc., whatever, it has to be Hindu. It can't be something that came from Madame Blavatsky in the 1800s. And so when they tell you, yes, it's about connecting with all these things, no, you're not getting the authentic experience. Or you're not teaching an authentic experience. You're teaching actually something that's very new. And I could go into a history of the modern trends of yoga. I've read about them. I'm not going to, but it's something new, and understand that. But if you want an authentic experience, find out what essential nature is defined as. It's here in this text, and it connects with the gods. If the person you're talking to doesn't mention Vishnu, Shiva, Shakti, Ganesha, whoever, they're not connecting with tradition. I have come to a point in my life where I want tradition. There is something in a 5,000-year-old tradition for me, which is rich, and it validates itself all the time. I see so many things in Hinduism which I'm like, yeah, we finally figured that out. Again, we lost the knowledge. We have brought it back. It blows my mind how this knowledge is validated over and over and over again. And so I want that. I want something that I can put my faith into, that I know is legit. And I can't do that with modern things. They don't work for me. I've had weird experiences. I'm not saying I haven't. I'm not condemning it all. I've had a few tarot readings that would blow your mind. But I'm at a point where I want authenticity, and I want to commit to a path. Maybe you do too. In which case, maybe your teacher's not there. Maybe your teacher doesn't seem to be connected to anything. They're just charging you money for a class. Find out what you like, discover it, delve into it, and maybe that means you're not so thrilled with your class, but you're going to have to study on your own. Do that. I challenge you to do that, if that's what you're looking for, and trust me, it'll be so worthwhile. The fulfillment you will get delving into the tradition of Hinduism, or as we call it, Sanatana Dharma, which is the name actually found in the scriptures. Hinduism is a modern word put on those people by foreigners, foreign invaders, missionaries, etc. So I just use it because everyone knows it. If study these things, it'll enrich your life, and I guarantee you'll connect with God, if that's what you're looking for. If not, that's okay. You're just here reading the Yoga Sutras because, yeah, why not? Wanted to find out what they said. Maybe it blew your mind, maybe it didn't, whatever. I'm simply sharing my experience and my point of view to just, well, maybe to tell you you're not alone, or to share someone else's view, or just whatever. It's all I've got. So I put it out in the world, and I see what happens. So with that, feel free to comment, like, subscribe, all that stuff that YouTube does that we all know about. If you want to support me, I have some links down below of things that I do. You are welcome. I'm a writer and a photographer, and I do things out there in the world. Feel free to support me somehow. It's appreciated. And yeah, please come back to this channel, watch my other videos. Some of them do not take place in the kitchen. Some of them have a better view than my girlfriend's cracker boxes, trust me. And so, with that, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.